Hi everyone, this is Sunny from Database Tech. So today I had come up with one more new session on SQL Server Database. In today's session, I will explain what is case statement. So case statement is used to implement the logic where you want to set the value of one column depending upon the values in other columns. Now, what does that mean? Let's understand this practically in SQL Server. To understand this in a better way, let's first execute the query. You can see the below output from this table name as person, in which we have columns like ID and name. In the ID column, we have some numeric values. Now what we have to do here, we have to display odd numbers as odd and even numbers as even, which is our requirement. Now tell me one thing, like, is it possible to do it manually? No, because we can have the huge number of rows, and to do it for each row it's not possible. So how we can achieve this? We can achieve this using case statement. And what we do in a case statement, we set the value of a column which depends on other column. Let's see how we can achieve this here. So first, let's get some column names. It again depends on the requirement how many columns you need from the table. Right now let's fetch both the columns. And then you have to write down case statement. And what is the syntax? It's very simple. You have to write down case when ID. What's ID? ID is a column name. And we are going to set condition for this ID column. Now, how to get the even and odd numbers? If the number is getting divided by 2, then it is even number. If not, then it is odd. So we have to set the condition accordingly. Divide 2 equal to 0, then it is even. Else it is odd. We will end the case statement here. In last, we have to use the table name. And what is the table name? It's person. Now what will happen here? It will first check, okay, if the number will come here first. If 1 divided by 2 equal to 0, then it will print as even and it will not come to else part. Okay, and if it is not getting divided by 2 0, then it will come to else part. If this condition is not matching, then it will come to this condition and print as odd. Similarly, it will come to next row, then third row, fourth row, like this. It will check this condition for all the rows. Let's first execute this query. You can see for 1 it's printing odd, for 2 it's even, 3 odd, 4 even. Similarly, it has given us the output for all the rows. So it's getting the expected result which was required. And this was single condition case statement. Similarly, we can use the different scenarios for the case statements like multiple condition, group by condition case statements. Let's understand one by one. Let's first understand multiple condition case statement. What is the scenario and where we can use this? To understand this, let's first fetch the data from one more table, which is cars. In this table, we have columns like ID, name, company, power, color, model, and condition. In the model, we have different model of the car. Now, what we are going to do here, if the model is greater than 2000, then display the car as new car. If the model is greater than 1990, then display the car as old car. If it is not, then display the car as garbage. Okay, So let's see how we can achieve this using multiple condition case statement. Select ID, name and model. As I said, it depends on the requirement, like how many columns you need. Right now let's fetch 3 columns, and then what we have to use, case. Case when model greater than 2000, then it should display as new car. When model greater than 1990, then it should display as old car. Else, if none of the conditions are matching, then it should display as garbage. We will end the case statement here, and then in the end we will use the table name. So what's the table name? Cars. So if this condition matches, then it will display as new car. Then if this condition matches, it will display as old car. If none of the conditions are matching and the model is less than this and this, then it will come here in the else part and display as garbage. So let's execute this query first. For 1995, it is displaying as old car. So it has come to this condition. This condition is matching here. In the second row, it's 2015. So this condition will match and display as new car. For 1880, it come to else part, and because none of the condition match, so it has come to the else part and display as garbage. So we are getting the expected result for this scenario also. So that was multiple condition case statement, how we can use this scenario in our daily work. Now I will show you how we can use group by condition case statement and what is the scenario and when we can use this. So there can be the scenario where you have to count like how many old cars we have, how many new cars we have, how many garbage cars we have. So at that time what we can do, we can use case statement with group by. And what group by does, it counts the rows that have the same value. Okay, so group by condition counts the rows that have the same value. Now what we have to do here, our output, we need the same output, like if we have 3 old cars, then we need that. Okay, but we cannot do it manually, so we will use the group by with case statement. Let's see how we can achieve this. So we will use the same code here that we have already used. We don't need the column names here because we have to count the old cars, garbage cars and new cars. We will use here we have to count, so we will use count function which will give us the count of old cars, new cars and garbage cars. Group by, we will use the same code that we had copied from top. So we'll took all the code here and display and copied here. So here we need to remove from cars because we had already used this here. Okay, now let's execute this code. We get the result as garbage, which is 1 car. New cars we have 4 and old cars we have 5. So it is working as expected, which was required. So what we did here, first we use the case statement till here. Okay, and then we have to count the cars. For that we use this function count from cars, which is the table name. We use the group by. Then again we use the same code here, group by. We added the same here because in group by, if we whatever the rows you are fetching, you have to give the same in the group by. We did the same here. Okay, so we get the output as below. That is how we can use single condition, multiple condition and a group by condition case statements. So that was it for today's session. I hope you have understood. With this, let's wrap up the session for today. We'll come up with the next session shortly. Till then, have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care. Be healthy, be happy, and love your family.